The Bulldogs coming off a solid 2022, collecting 9+ wins for the first time since 2017. The only loss came at home from the national champion Dogs. A bowl win, also part of last season's story, but nothing impacted the squad more than the passing of the Pirates. So a time of transition for Mississippi State is Zach Arnett now takes over as the head coach. And I have here with me in studio Steve Robertson from Gene's page. And Steve, just an impossible position that Arnett was put in. How has he handled that transition so far?
I think beautifully. And I think he's done so in a way that is respectful of Mike Leach, but also too really kind of maybe moving forward with his own vision, putting his own fingerprints on this program. And of course, been very respectful of Coach Leach. But the reality of it is, this is Zach Arnett's program now, and he's taken the steps necessary to put his fingerprints on it. And every time he's had the opportunity to make decisions so far, he's made the right one.
Yeah, what does that vision look like under Arnett?
You know, that's the thing. Number one, I think they want to be tougher on offense. And I don't mean that to be disrespectful about the air raid offense, which in many respects was kind of a timing finesse type offense. Zach Arnett is a blue-collar, hard-nosed guy. And you saw that on the defensive side the last 3 years. I think now he wants to have those same attributes kind of demonstrated on the offensive side. So he goes out and hires Kevin Barbay, a guy that's going to run the football a lot more and have a lot more balance.
Yeah, what will that offense look like? You have kind of old and new with Barbay coming in and calling the plays for the first time, but you got the veteran quarterback as well, Will Rogers, calling the shots too.
Well, on the passing side, they're still going to run some elements of the air raid, and Barbay has been very open about that. It's like, hey, we're not just squashing that. We're just kind of adding more balance with the running game. They're also implementing a tight end. I mean, State hadn't had a tight end in 3 years, so that's been a real recruiting priority, is bringing guys in to handle that for the personnel group. And so I think Will Rogers actually is going to have a lot less pressure on his shoulders this year, because of the fact that you're going to have the benefit of running the football a lot more, and you're also not going to see too high safeties as often. State faced a lot of cover 8, and that's our drop 8 type coverages. And so Will was the guy that had to kind of navigate through that. I think now with more weapons at his arsenal, I think Will's going to have a really good year. Now, numbers-wise, you're not throwing it 60, 70 times a game, but I think Will has a chance to do something that only Dak Prescott has done, and that's put together back-to-back 9-win seasons.
How has Will Rogers taken the reins of being that veteran and kind of having this play with the new offensive coordinator? I mean, how has he done it, this transition from a completely different offense?
Well, post-spring, Will told me that, hey, I understand what they expect of me. Now it's my job this summer to get everybody else on the same page. And Will is a guy that has the respect of the locker room and the huddle. He's not just some guy that's out there just happens to be the quarterback. You talk to some of his receivers, and they'll tell him, hey, Will's a dog. Will's got dog in him. And so he has earned their respect, and so they're going to follow where he leads them. And I think that's a big part of things. And Will, again, from the spring, said he understood exactly what was expected of him. And so now it's about putting this thing together in fall camp and putting a good season together.
All right, on the other side of the ball, you have the consistency with Arnett as the head coach, but you technically have a new defensive coordinator coming in Matt Brock. What should we expect from that side of the ball in 2023?
Well, pain. I think that's a big part of it. I think there's going to be a lot of blitzing, and I think you saw that in ReliaQuest Bowl against Illinois. Matt Brock has been here the entire time Zach Arnett has, and so they have worked kind of hand in hand for 3 years. And Brock did the play calling in the ReliaQuest Bowl, and State set a season high for sacks in that game. Arnett signaled it in, but it was Brock calling the plays. And so talking to both of them during the offseason, they expect kind of a seamless transition. But Zach is so funny about it. He goes, Matt might do a better job than I did, but it's pretty clear that they see football the same way. And I think that's one of the reasons that, Matt Brock has been elevated to the play caller. I think he believes in football the same way Zach Arnett does.
Yeah, that's why I said technically a new defensive coordinator, but you still have that consistency. I wasn't sure where you're going with pain, but it sounds like good pain on the teams that they're getting ready to face, right?
Well, years ago, there was, the Mississippi State had the reputation, if you were in the Southeastern Conference, you loved to play a team after Mississippi State did. Because State was so blitz happy with the Joe Lee Dunn scheme. And so I think State's kind of getting back to that. That's the desired reputation, is they want that everybody to understand that when you play Mississippi State, it's a 60-minute deal, and they're going to be blitzing from the locker room as soon as the game starts. So
it's going to hurt. It's going to hurt. All right, coming off a 9-win campaign, the over-under right now in July is set at 6.5 wins. Where do you lean here?
Oh, absolutely over.
Over. Absolutely over.
I think that's the easiest money in college football, to be quite honest with you. I mean, Mississippi State has 8 home games for the first time in school history. And you've got, 4 basically toss-up games on the road. One of those games is at Auburn, where State has had some success. College Station, Mississippi State's had some success there as well. And so I don't think there's a road date that you look at and you're just terrified of. I think, actually Alabama and LSU, that's going to be difficult games, as they always are. But they're in Starkville this year. And so I think, I think it's easy money. I think State can replicate last year's success, and I don't think it's unreasonable to think that State could possibly win an extra game. Last year, State ends the year 9-4 and ranked 20th in the country with a veteran team, one of the most veteran rosters in the Southeastern Conference, and all these home games. I think State could have a special year, provided everybody stays healthy.
I love it. You hear that? Steve says go ahead and put your money in on State. Hit that over. Also, make sure you are checking out Gene's page for all things Mississippi State all year long. Steve, thank you so much.
Thank you.